What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we're going to do something a little different. A couple of guys in my Discord channel have, reached out to me and have asked me, you do all these deck profiles, but, neither you nor any other YouTuber really focuses on side deck. So I'm going to kind of go over my thought process or my theory behind a side deck. Essentially, the first thing I'm going to say is side deck is all player preference, and it's all matchup dependent. Like, it really depends on what deck you're running as to, like, counter the meta, so to speak, and that's how you kind of just build your side deck. It might be a little hard to wrap your head around in the beginning because there's a lot of factors that you have to take into consideration when building a side deck. So today I'm just going to go over a couple of cards that could possibly be good side deck cards for a majority of matchups. I'm basically going to be basing this off of a general consensus as opposed to just one major deck. I mean, you guys already know that I'm going to be playing Universe 7 Frieza at the Atlantic City event, and I have my side deck already built for that. But I'm just going to, show you guys a couple of cards that could be effective in the meta that we have right now. So you guys can, just look at these cards. A lot of them are tech choices. That's pretty much what a side deck is. It's mostly just tech choices. And just try not to overlook them because they could be pretty effective in helping you optimize your strategy and ultimately get the win. So the first card I want to talk about is Father-Son Kamehameha. Now, Father-Son Kamehameha is an extra card that came out in set 2. It's a 1 green energy, and it's an activate main. And basically what it allows you to do, it allows you to destroy a battle card on your opponent's side of the field greater than or equal to their current energy. So for example, if they have a 7 energy, you can destroy a 7 drop or higher, which is really good, especially right now in the meta with the Tournament of Power Frieza running around. So that's kind of just like a 1 card answer to that specific battle card if you're playing green in your deck. It's just 1 green energy. If Frieza is on board, you do have to pay the 1 life to activate it, but you kind of get that threat off of the board, and you don't have to worry about it, for the rest of the game moving forward, unless they just drop another one. Now, the only downside to Father-Son Kamehameha is you can't destroy a battle card that's less than your opponent's energy. So if they have 7 energy and they play a big 6 drop, you can't get rid of that 6 drop. So you kind of have to pick and choose when you're going to play it, and if you reveal to your opponent you're playing Father-Son Kamehameha, they can definitely play around it. So just keep that in mind, but that is a good 1 cost answer to, bigger cards, in the format right now. Another card I want to go over is Crusher Ball. Crusher Ball has been around since set 1. It's a yellow extra card. It's 1 yellow energy, and basically what it does is the battle card that comes in rest mode. So the good thing about Crusher Ball is it's very versatile. It can hit multiple targets, and it gets around barrier because it's not choosing. So any card that has barrier can, is susceptible to Crusher Ball. Also, if cards are summoned or casted simultaneously, both of those cards get affected by Crusher Ball. So perfect example, when it was an ape heavy format and your opponent would play March of the Great Apes, bringing out 2 apes, you can respond with Crusher Ball, and those 2 apes would come out in rest mode. Same thing with the new Maiden transformation from Tournament of Power. The 2 Maidens that come out, they come out in rest mode when you activate Crusher Ball. When the Caulifla leader first came out in the Draft Box 2, a lot of people were playing the Ginyu Caulifla deck. That Ginyu that just dumps, Ginyu Force members on the board. If you were to Crusher Ball his effect, they would pretty much all come out in rest mode. So it's a pretty good card. The main reason I like it right now is because it's an answer to the Secret Rare, or just like the Gokus from Tournament of Power. The Secret Rare Goku cannot be countered. You basically just have to out-combo him. But when he's brought out, when he's EX evolved and brought out, you can Crusher Ball and put him in rest mode. So it kind of gives you 1 more turn to just kind of, play around it and get rid of it and get it off the board. You can do the same thing to the 5 drop. You can Crusher Ball and stop them from bringing out the 8 drop and so on and so forth. Crusher Ball is a very powerful card. If you're playing yellow and it's not main boarded, I don't know why it's not mainboarded, but it should definitely be considered for a sideboard card because it's so powerful right now and it can hit so many different things. Another card I want to get into is Father-Son Gallic Gun. Now, Father-Son Gallic Gun is similar to Father-Son Kamehameha, but it's a 2-cost blue extra card for 1 blue energy. So it's 1 blue energy, 1 random energy. It's a 2-cost extra card, and its effect states that you can choose 1 battle card on your opponent's side of the field and send it back to their hand. Any card that's underneath it goes to the drop area. So the reason I like this card is because there's no level restriction to what card you can target. So unlike Father-Son, it doesn't have that energy restriction. And it puts it back in their hand, so it kind of sets them back a turn. It's really good against Cell if they Union Absorb to the 7-drop Cell and they drop you to 3 cards. If you can survive till next turn and you cast the Father-Son Gallic Gun rather, you put the 7-drop back in their hand, which they don't want, and the 2 other cards go to the drop area. So, or everything that's underneath Cell goes to the drop area. So it's really good for kind of setting your opponent back a turn. It is 2 energy, so you do have to take that into consideration. And it's kind of, not that it's bad against Frieza, but they can just always hardcast the Frieza if they really want to the next turn. But it saves you because Frieza prevents you from doing so much that you can put it back in their hand, just pay the 1 life, put it back in their hand, hopefully win by that turn, so on and so forth. If you're playing like a combo deck where you're playing both Crusher Ball and Father-Son Gallic Gun, you can always Crusher Ball something and then send it back to their hand if you want to. But I like Father-Son Gallic Gun because basically it gets rid of those big threats. Buhan or the 7-drop Boo is a very scary card. To me personally, I think it's one of the best cards in the game if used properly. And you can just Father-Son that back to the hand. Anything with Union Absorb is going to take a huge hit because they're not going to be able to dig it out from their deck. They're going to have to just... It becomes kind of a dead card with Union Absorb in the hand because they can't fetch it from the deck. So that's another card you want to look at, Father-Son Gallic Gun. The next card I want to talk about is Attacker Majin Haru. Attacker Majin Haru came out in set 3. It's one of the black cards. It's a 3-cost 15k critical with the auto that if your opponent is using a yellow or green leader, you can restand 4 of your energies. I mean, right now the 2 most popular decks in the format are Universe 7 Frieza and Ginyu Veggies or Mecha Veggies or some type of veggie variant with a yellow leader. So why not play Haru for free, essentially? If you can combo multiple Harus per turn, that's insane because you're putting a 15k body on board with crit and just for free. You're putting a lot of pressure. So it's a really good card. I like it a lot. I like Haru. I feel like it has a really good spot right now in the meta when a couple months ago before Tournament of Power was kind of lackluster because not too many people were playing yellow leaders. They were kind of more focusing on like the SS3 variants. And obviously Ginyus were splashing around, but people didn't really consider it a mainstay, so there wasn't a lot of really teched in Harus, but that's another card you might want to look at. It's a 3-drop, essentially comes out for free. And the good thing, if you're playing against yellow, if they Bloodlust your Haru, then they just Bloodlust your Haru. I mean, that's good because they're not going to have that Bloodlust for a bigger threat that you're going to put out. And it kind of forces your opponent to play around. And it's 15k crit, so it puts pressure. So I would definitely look into Haru. Worst case scenario, it's a free 5k combo. It does suck when you have to charge it. But if you're playing like a Universe 7 deck, because there's no specified cost for Universe 7 cards with a Universe 7 leader, black energy doesn't really mean anything. So definitely Haru is another thing to look at. This next card I'm going to talk about is more specific to, it depends on what deck you're playing, and that's King Vegeta Surprise Attack. King Vegeta Surprise Attack is really, really good because it gets around barrier with that revenge skill because it doesn't choose. But obviously you have to have a body on board. A lot of Universe 7 decks right now are playing the Piccolo blocker. So if you're playing Krillin in the deck and you charge a green energy, you can turn on your King Vegeta Surprise Attack. I think it's a pretty good card. And you go to block with Piccolo, it's a 20k blocker, and you throw Surprise Attack on it. It becomes a 30k blocker with Revenge. You just got rid of a huge threat. Blockers in general are very good right now because they stop the Goku play. And blockers with barrier are nuts. The only thing that can stop it really is the 5-drop Frieza from Tournament of Power. But you know, that's fine. You know, that's what he's there for, is to draw an effect. But King Vegeta Surprise Attack is pretty good if you're playing blocker heavy decks. Like if you're still playing Apes, you can use that card. I was playing Maidens for a while, so you know, any type of deck that puts threats on board and your opponent wants to get rid of those threats by swinging into them, King Vegeta Surprise Attack does become a very good card because, for example, when I would play Maidens, I would swing with Ribrianne, you know, do what I had to do and pass. Your opponent wants to get rid of that Ribrianne, so they're going to swing into her. And then when you throw that King Vegeta Surprise Attack, Big Mama's 35k with Revenge. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to win that battle. Also, Rosie for the Maidens is a blocker. You know, so there's a couple things you can play with that card. Because it gives your battle card, you know, Revenge and 10k. So I like that card a lot. It's 1 green energy, so it's not too expensive. So if you're playing green, you might want to look into it. The next card I want to talk about is Enraged Gohan Awakening. Enraged Gohan Awakening is a 2-cost green extra card. Requires 2 green energies, so it's a little more expensive to play. But what it does is it doesn't negate an attack. What it does is basically if your opponent swings, you play Enraged Awakening, tap 2 green energies, and then you get to just blow up the attacking card. So you're not negating the attack, you're just literally playing it and stopping the attacker. You're just getting it off the board. So it's a really good answer to the Goku package, the Secret Rare Goku and the 8-drop Goku. If they go to swing and you're playing with green energies, you can play that card and get that threat off the board. Again, it is a little more situational because it's 2 green and it is really expensive, but if you're playing green and you're charging green in your main deck, it's a very, very strong card because it's just a 1-card answer to a win con essentially for your opponent. I mean, that Secret Rare Goku is essentially a win con. You know, even the 8-drop Goku with a green leader is a win con. So you definitely want to get those guys off the board. If somebody's ballsy enough to attack with the 7-drop Frieza, you just throw that bad boy down and get rid of that. You do have to pay the 1 energy, the 1 life for it, but hey, that's a really good trade-off. So there's a lot of cards that you can look into right now. The last card I'm going to touch upon, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I think it's a very, very strong card if played properly, and it's Assassination Plot. Assassination Plot is a 4-cost extra card, requires 2 red energies, but you can destroy battle cards on your opponent's side of the field that equal up to 30,000 power. It might not seem like a lot, but when you're playing against Veggies, if you can play that late game and just get rid of their stuff, I mean, probably by that turn you're not winning or you're not surviving. But if you're playing the right type of stall and they've got like 2 or 3 Kabbas on board, and you just Assassination Plot, you can get rid of all their Kabbas, you know, because Kabba's only a 10k. So it's a very, very strong underlooked card. It is a lot more expensive than some of the other cards I mentioned in this video. But it's one of those that I wanted to slightly touch upon because a lot of people, they might not be playing green or blue or yellow. They want, you know, I'm pretty sure I pretty much covered every color in this video with the cards I went over, so at least somebody has a tech choice. There's not a lot of really good red tech cards because red is more of like the aggro color. I looked and I looked at stuff and I tried to piece stuff together, but you know, green has a lot of really good counter cards. You know, yellow is very powerful, even blue. You know, but I figured Assassination Plot was worth mentioning because I have used it in the past and I have had success with it. But it's super expensive. You know, tapping 4 energies to play it is ridiculous. But I figured I'd just kind of show you like my thought process. But just remember, always keep in mind that your side deck is matchup dependent. Whatever plus matchups you have, obviously you're not really going to side too much for. But if you have tougher matchups, those are the cards that you kind of want to bring in to help you make it a more even fight or even battle. So it's all player preference. You know, feel free to experiment with, you know, every card in the game and see what works for you. You know, if certain cards work and certain cards don't, it all depends on play style and player preference. But a side deck is a more personal thing. So I think as to why people don't really show them on YouTube is because you really can't net deck a side deck because it's, like I said, it's in my opinion, it's more of like player preference and matchup dependent. You know, some people's locals might be loaded with certain decks and others might be completely different. So it depends on your meta and your scene, but I figured I'd just give you guys a few ideas. The meta right now specifically is pretty much just veggies in Universe 7. Vegeta is pretty good too, but that's more like considered a rogue deck. Like the top 2 decks right now, I think, are veggies and Universe 7. Veggies probably the best deck in the format right now. So a lot of the cards that I mentioned, you know, help you, you know, get over those matchups. So I hope this video was helpful. Shout out to Happy Majin and Dark Shift Gaming. Those are the 2 guys that really asked me and brought it to my attention is to go into side deck and stuff like that. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're going to Atlantic City ARG this weekend, I hope to see you there. Please look for me and let me know like what's good, say what's up. I love meeting new people. I love talking about this game, and I'm very approachable. You know, just say what's up and drop by and see what's going on. But I want to thank you guys for the continuing support. We just recently got over 700 subscribers, so the road to 1K, like we're embarked on this journey. We're almost there, guys. We're almost over the hump. So I want to thank all you supporters out there for all the love and all the appreciation. I want to thank all the people that are interactive with Discord and Facebook Messenger and in the comment section below. I love our conversations and I love back and forth with you guys because you get to look at it from a different perspective. You get to look at the game with a different set of eyes. So I always encourage, you know, sharing or expressing your ideas because it can go a long way. But you know, without further ado, guys, I'm gonna let you get back to it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell everybody about this channel. The movement is strong here, and we want to grow, and we want to get to where we need to get so we can start making some serious moves in this community. Thank you guys again. We'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.